ask me this question, and I'd like to know, because, again, I think you would agree that it's time to embrace the fact that there's a rebuild coming. If you're really committed to the rebuild, do you put Juuse Saros out there on the trade block and say, we're committed to this rebuild, here's the guy, come and get him?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you can get the ownership and you can get, everybody that works there to be like, okay, we're going full rebuild, there's not a bigger chip on your team, right? The amount that he makes, I don't know if has no trade. I don't think he's played long enough to have that. So you can trade him anywhere. I don't want them to trade away Saros.
Yeah,
I understand that. But if you're looking at this from a rebuild, there's nothing you're going to get more money from. You certainly aren't going to make your team better. But if you don't think you're going to contend for 2 or 3 years, and you have the most highly regarded prospect in the last, since probably Marc-Andre Fleury, right?
Yeah.
Whether he's going to be that or not, that is, who knows? Nobody knows, because goalies are voodoo. It's this reality of it. But you believe that he's that guy, which is why you drafted him in the first round. And the majority of the world believes he's going to be that guy. So maybe it's Saros. Maybe you deal him away and you get some young star players. You get a Troy Terry from Anaheim, or you get I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. But you're not going to get more from any other player than him. And also, you're saying, look, white flag, man. We're done. I mean, come back in 2 or 3 years when we have players that can actually compete.
I wonder, though, the question is if they were to do that and to move Juuse Saros, would Bridgestone Arena still be standing at the end of the day? Because, again, if fans are all like, it's time for the rebuild, but I don't think that, if they're really committed to just doing whatever it takes, you're going to see something and it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt, emotionally. It's going to hurt physically to watch, but it's you're going to see these guys leave that you've loved. And Juuse Saros is, he's been in the system for his whole career. He's as close as what you could think of as a legacy.
I don't think they even consider it. They're looking long game, right? Like Oskarov, maybe he plays in the NHL in 2 years and he's a backup to Saros. The money that they have Saros locked in for the next couple of years is mind-boggling. If you look at where he stands statistically and where he, he was in the running to win the Vezina Trophy and he makes $4 million or $4.5 million. It's insane, right? It's insane. But you probably don't, just because of the amount of money you're paying him, and he's a superstar player.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's still underpaid. He might be the one player this season that is getting underpaid despite making $5 million.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's the best thing though to rip the Band-Aid off. Is I think it would be an immediate, next day would hurt. Fans would be super pissed the next day. But I think by the summer, they're like, okay, we understand why you did it. Because you took it seriously. I think fans will understand if you take it seriously. What they're not going to do is be like, oh, we trade, just do just dip your toe in the rebuild. That's where you lose folks. So I think if you really did rip the Band-Aid off and got a really good return for Saros, they would be super bummed. But I think they would get over it faster than just trading Ekholm and still just gradually falling apart at the seams. I think they would respect it more. But I also don't know. The biggest thing, elephant in the room, is do you want Dave Boyle leading the rebuild? He's not going to be here to see it through, most likely. He's just not. So do you really want him in charge when things go kaboom? Do you really want him to piece together the next Preds contending team? Or do you have a succession plan where it's he rides it out, but when he's gone, we'll have a new GM in charge, and they're responsible for doing the rebuild? Because I think that's an under-talked about point of this. It's just that I don't think he's up for a long-term rebuild.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really solid point. But at this point, who knows? They don't have they may have a succession plan, but I don't know if they have it locked in. If Barry Trotz is indeed the goal, do they really have him? Are they confident that when they actually physically go and ask him to come on, he wants to still coach and then kind of transition to being a GM? Is he going to be available? Because there's a lot of teams that want a guy like him. Is Trotz even the best choice? You raise a really solid point that, if you blow it up now, do you want Poyle to be on the reins of it? But I don't know that it's going to matter too much, because just from a standpoint of time, Poyle is just not going to be, whether things end well or not, He's just not going to be a GM in 5 years from now. I don't think so.
Yeah.
And that's just reasonable expectations for anybody really, not to say anything about the quality of what he does. So you can't sit there and wait and say we can't rebuild until we have another guy lined up, because that feels like that's what they've been doing, and it's not been working. And this, these people grew up. A lot of the fans grew up watching this team struggle and watching this team not be on TV. Getting made fun of for passing out the instruction sheets on hockey and things like that first year. The fans they were coming to games before the Cup year. It was a passionate fan base before the Cup year, and they still will be. The reason it's a good thing that so many people are mad, because that means they're still passionate. They haven't given up yet, and nobody's fully ready for a rebuild. Nobody likes it. No one enjoys it when it's happening, but I think the fans are they've managed to convince themselves to be like, oh no, we need to be bad now. Most fan bases won't want to do that, but now they're like, we need to, and there's something there. So have faith in the fans,
they'll come back when things
you got us all. Yeah. And you know what? Make the games a little bit more fun and make them a little bit more affordable to go to, so you can get those people, the tourists who are coming in and see, $30 tickets and go in there to see what's going on. And it's a spectacle, because I would say, I think of the 20 games I've been to this season, I think the arena this is probably maybe the third most rowdy they got was last night. And it was not because of Nashville fans. So, I mean, and it's an original six team. They're the best team in the country. It's understandable that they travel well. I've been, even the Cowboys. I'm a Cowboys fan, unfortunately, but they travel well no matter what year it's been. I've been to Nissan Stadium against Titans, 70% Cowboys fans. The big teams, the historic teams, they travel well. But you can't tell me that the ownership group was watching that game last night, seeing the sheer amount of Boston fans and the chants and I wasn't even in the arena. I was in the concourse walking back to my seat and heard the crowd explode in the third period. And then I waited for the horn to sound, heard nothing. It was Boston fans. I mean, it was a pop that I'm used to hearing from Nashville fans, and it happened. Nashville didn't score at all. So it's, you have to at some point stop the bleeding. You rip the Band-Aid off. You have to say, this is going to suck, and just be honest, be straightforward with your fan base. Because yes, you're going to lose some people there, but if they can trust you that you know what you're doing, and you're going to help them along in this process as well, it won't be as bad. And if you keep putting it off, then the light at the end of the tunnel keeps getting further and further away. And that's, we've been seeing that for now, I'd say 3 years.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. At the very least, it's going to be interesting to follow over the next couple of weeks, and we're going to learn a lot about where the Preds in this front office sees things very clearly in the next couple of weeks, which is exciting. I think they're going to have to be forced to pick a direction, and
for people like us, psychos, I live and breathe hockey. I can't wait for the rebuild to start. I love thinking about it and having things to think about, and it's the circle of life. If you're a fan of any team, your team will go through this, and it's inevitable, and it's just how it is. So, Eric,
this is great. I appreciate you making the time today. This was awesome to have you on the program. What can the good folks check out from you? What do you want to plug here as we wrap up here today?
I mean, I'm still doing my my hockey show on FTN Network. There's on Game Plus Network. It's definitely got a gambling lean, because look, we got to pay bills, and that's what everyone is talking about now. It doesn't change the analysis, learning and watching hockey and looking at analytics. Will make you a better. I think that makes sense.
It works. Yeah,
it does. Yeah.
So I'm had a lot of success in the gambling realm, and I'm not a gambling person. I bet very small amounts.